I finally did it. So I'm about to show you the pairs that it's working, and it's relatively quiet. And the problem was with the old G4 MDD, and this guy was noisy as hell and practically unusable in the studio, which I'm using because I'm recording here also. I want to be at a quiet place when I do my recording, so the modification consists of changing the fan of power supply and changing the fan of CPU, which I connected directly to the cooling radiator, and not like this, which I'll show it to you later. So this guy is relatively quiet, as you can hear. This fan is not original, as I remember it was black, and this was his Noctua, like those two guys too. And the modification which is here, which looks crazy, but it's in there, is something like this, which I had disassembled from some old tape machine from 50s, and it's a resistor, but it's a bit bigger than this one, and it says it's 6 ohms and 2 watts, so this is important. So I put the resistors in series with this fan so I can reduce its power, so it doesn't work in full power, so it doesn't produce any noise, or at least less noise. So this is the old one cable ADC monitor, which works, and it's perfectly enough for me for second monitor. So I'm gonna use it because it has just one cable, and that's really nice. And I don't want to have a monitor in there as I usually do when I do music, because it fucks my mind and I don't concentrate as I should. So this way I can have the monitor here and work with it and just concentrate on the sound, not on this picture, which bothers me as I figure it out. Let's open original tutorial. The problem when it starts, and it gets really, how to say, very loud pop sound. So you have to reduce the power of the speakers when you power it on, as you all know. So I didn't figure it out how to change that. So I just switch on the selector on the power supply for the speakers, and not power supply, power amplifier. Oh, there's a problem. Yep, that's the sound. Shit. Oh, what the fuck? There's something wrong. Okay, I panicked for a second, but I've changed I rotated the SCSI cable to connection to MIC, and the thing started to work. So I think I thought I fried it. Okay, so it's Hopefully it's gonna work. I fucked up all my settings, so I have to do it again. So it's working, and the thing that I've done, this is a new fan. Just a second. I think I have it here. The box. So around 26 euros. This is Noctua 17.8 decibels, 107 cubic meters per hour. But this this blows really low. The original fan is this one, and it's really noisy and it's really powerful, but I think I won't be using so much processing power, so hopefully it will be okay with this one. So I've changed it, but this thing heats up. Not that it said it's overheated, but I felt it's going hotter when it's positioned here as it's supposed to be. So I put it on there. There's little holes here, and I use the strips like this just to connect to the radiator. First thing that I've done, it was blowing down there, but I think it's stupid, so I put it to blow up there, so it's pulling, and I made a hole in the casing there so it can blow up, because those little holes are shitty, and it builds up the temperature here. Another thing that I did, and this guy here, I've changed it with a silent one, but it's, even if I pull it out, it doesn't make any pretty noise, even original one, so I've replaced it just in case. Originally there's two hard drives here connected to this IDE connector, so remove that and fuck it, I don't need it. So I just connected two of those on this bay, two discs. One disc is for the system, one disc is for the files. It's gonna be on a Paris machine, so I don't care. And the power supply was the most problematic. It's very noisy, so even if I've replaced the fans with the new ones, which are cheap, about 6-7 euros, but this is the original one, and I've replaced it with the new one, and it's still noisy because it's small and it has a really loud sound. That's why I decided, maybe I was thinking just put it fan here to break this casing and to cut it, and then I said fuck it, I don't care, I'll do it from the outside. So I did it like this. Half of the fan is in there, half of the fan is out there. I make from the tape, which is aluminum tape, like this one, but it's aluminum. I made the tunnel, so it blows through it, and it pulls a lot of air. When you close it, you can feel every suction all around. So it's kind of good. So this is the modification. If somebody wants to see it detailed, I'll probably do it. Maybe I won't, I don't know. But the thing I want to say, not to use the replacement fans. You have to rebuild the construction, because it's whatever you do, it's gonna get noisy. So this is the output of the CPU fan, and that's it. Why the position of the cable has to be one way, not another, I don't know. So I don't want to mess with it. It's going. The EDS card was here. I thought there was a problem when I was dismantling it, so I put it in another socket. Now it's working. I'm not going to mess with it. I don't care. This guy here, it's a graphic card which has two heads, and it's kind of hot, but it's normally hot. So, but you can feel the breeze within, and the discs, even the discs here. Luckily I had at least 10 of those from my 20 years ago projects and studios and videos, and maybe even more. So I just used 2 of those and reformatted them, and it's gonna be only 4 pairs. And this thing here, when it's blowing, like this guy here, it's really cold. When you touch it, everything is cold. So it's cooling all the chassis, all the steel in there. So I think that's a good thing. I'll try to work around it, and yeah. So yeah, that's it. So it's not that noisy, can be worked with. Yeah. The problem with this one, it's supposed to be on the table because you want to see if you're clipping, but it's gonna stay on the desk for now. So I've removed one of those things that closes the holes up there, but I'm just gonna leave it open so it can cool down. So I was saying about the resistor here, which I put here in this plastic. This is just a plastic casing, and the wires are coming out of there. So I've connected it in series, as I said, and the thing is relatively quiet, which is very, very important to me. I want to have the computer in there. I want to remove it, because if I remove it, then I won't get this ADC cable for this monitor, which connects the monitor and data and everything. It goes only through one cable. This cable can be only as such long. So, and SCSI cable can only be, I don't know, a few meters long maybe. And so if I remove it from the place, I won't be able to see what's happening with the computer and with the clipping lamps and MEC and everything interface. This is connected for now to the headphones. I know it's not the right way, but it was easier because I need to make 2 cables. I have the cables, but I need to connect them. So this should be integrated with this old guy, which works perfectly. I made it work. I was working on it for 4 days and 4 nights and made it out of 2 machines. This one is in perfect condition now. I dismantled everything here, every connector, everything, cleaned it up, and it's perfect now. The reason why I'm using it, because I like the whole thing here. How does it sound? It sounds really, really beautiful. And the tapes are cheap, relatively cheap, so you can make the tape sound with it pretty easily. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, and the other monitor will be connected to the HDMI. This will be my video monitor and my audio monitor. So this one will be connected to the card also, this old video card. So I can have a less needed things here and a mixer here, so I can work with it. I don't want to watch it when I'm mixing, directly into the sound. When I'm listening, I want to just hear the empty space and no pixels, no pictures, no nothing, because it fucks me up. Yep. And this is the Scrabble that leftovers. Yes, I removed all the meshings, all the things that probably were making some kind of hissing noise or something. This one is a new one, but I killed it because it was running very slow, and I tried to push it up a bit and I killed it. This one died. So it cost me about $40 for the computer, which I paid, and at least $70 for the fans, which I won't be using because those guys are also noisy. So they left me with those two. About two of those, same $26, $28 I believe each, and those two I've used. So no guarantee, because it's a 4-pin connector, and the motherboard on the Macintosh has 2 pins, so I had to cut it, and I lost the guarantee for or something if I want to return it, or so it's mine. The reason why I'm telling all of this is not to use the replacements. You have to rebuild the cooling system. No way you can at least that I know, no way that you can use the placement of the fans as they are in the old Macintosh and make it quiet. No way. So this design is fucked up, and they made it later much better, but yeah, it won't be a problem. Maybe if the mouse goes in there, there will be a problem. But since I'm in the village, in the cottage, yeah. I also tried with the how do you say, fixing the bearings. By removing this, you have a bearing there. You can clean it up and you oil it. It doesn't work. So that's it. Yeah, this is the tape that I've used. Yes, this is the aluminum tape that I've used to make the tunnel here when I cut the power supply. So I've bent the, how do you say, the tin up there. So I glued it on there. There's a connecting with this aluminum foil because of the temperature. This, how do you say, displacement. But I figured out this thing, if you touch it, it's connected to the ground. So I've taped the black tape on it so I can isolate if something touches it, doesn't short circuit or breaks the fuses in there. So, but it's underneath, it's all aluminum, and it's pretty easy to do. I made it in one day, and this was done with the saw, with the saw, yeah, on the battery powered saw. So it's kind of easy. It was shit all around, but it was kind of easy. Yeah. So that's it. Just one thing about the Macintosh, which is very interesting. I've called intelligent devices because I bought 20 years ago, maybe more, the original software, original hardware, everything. So I called them to give me the response code. So they responded me within, I believe, half an hour maybe, and they gave me the code for the activation of the software, original software, which I have, which I never sold, basically. And about the RAM on Macintosh or the Paris uses maximum of 256 megabytes of RAM, In this machine, when I bought it, it had 1 gigabyte, and one slot was having a problem sometimes, so I pulled it out. I only had 512. As you can see there, you can see 200, 500, but Paris is using only, as I told him, 256 megabytes, and that's maximum that Paris can use. So there's no use about putting any more of the RAM there. And one another thing about what I've tried to do, which I don't have here, or I do. Wait a second. About the hard drives. So I bought a bunch of these guys. They were cheap, about $10, and this is a IDE to SATA connector, so you can connect your SSD drive or any drive. That is much more faster than this one. That's old one that I had. And I was thinking maybe it's CF card. I bought those connectors so I can speed up the system and speed up the file management generally, or responsiveness of the Paris. But I've tried. I didn't use any software. I was just copying files so I can check the time which it takes to copy one file to another, and I didn't see any improvement, which was very interesting. So I've connected SSD drive, not SSD, but SATA drive, which is much faster, and no use. So there was no any significant improvement. So I disconnected it and I just put the EDA drive, which is here, and this is the system drive, and that's it. Since I have only one EDS card, I will be maybe maximum I would be using 32 channels, which is, this EDA drive is more than enough with this system. So maybe I'll buy, hopefully I'll buy another card. But as I see it on the Brian's video, there's no need for using any faster drives. It can only make some kind of havoc on its system, so I won't be doing that. Maybe. So the next job will be optimizing the work and connections. Setting up the reverb. I tried to working with the reverb, famous Paris reverb, so I can tweak it so I can make my own preset, so it can sound really nice. I was thinking even with a CF card, maybe putting it in there, but there is no need because I can back it up through the Macintosh, which has a FireWire. I have FireWire disk, old ones, old drives, so I can back up the whole project, hopefully with no big problem. So this is the mess. The reason why I'm recording this and telling you about it, because if anybody decides to use Macintosh, don't waste your time on, at least in my expense, replacing the fans. Just replace the fans and restructure the cooling system. I think that's the only way if you want to have a computer in your room. It would be nice if this one is M1 is really fantastic machine, so if it could work with Paris, that would be nice, but it probably won't. So this is the way. And this one also it was broken, so I made a stand. It was really messy and still it's dirty, but it's working. It's okay. It kind of reminds me of the good old times, so I decided to keep it. So I made this stand, and it works. The problem, of course, with the old system is that it doesn't have a ball there, so the system doesn't recognize the ball like this one, and so you have to work it like the good old times by catching this guy here. You have to do it like this, I don't know if it's possible to do it with some kind of scroll mouse. This one doesn't work. If I connected it here, this is a cool thing. Like all Macintosh have original. Yeah, nothing happening. You have to work around it. But the sound of the Paris is fantastic. Really, it's really great. It sounds really, as I remember it, you can get really fast, really nice sound. No hassle, no tweaking, no million plugins. You just record it and it sounds really articulated, fat, punchy. And yes, this guy uses control, as you all know. It probably uses normal Ethernet cable, which can be very long. So it's a good thing maybe just to put it in the maybe in a room when you're recording along. But I have original, which I don't know where it is, punch-in foot switch. So you can do a punch-in with a foot switch here, and this is a really good thing. I have it somewhere, so never tried it even before, but I know I have it.